Yes, alright. So let's see here. Azir versus Hui. Hui, of course, very hard lane builder champion. Decides to start with Q and just pushes the wave. Doesn't start with E and goes for the guaranteed poke. And the Hui playing Aerie here. And the Knight is opting in for the tank Azir. I don't love the tank Azir, to be honest. I think it's good in some games, don't get me wrong, but I think in a lot of games you're just minimizing your DPS for a lot of reasons. This game, he's playing into Jinx, Nautilus, Hui, Renekton, and Vi, I believe. So I could see it being worth something against the Vi Nautilus for sure. But do I think it's necessary? No. But I don't hate it. But I do think the one thing you do need this game, looking at your comp, you're playing Rek'Sai, you're playing Ornn, you're playing Wukong. Your DPS, if not you, is Senna. So you really need some DPS. I would probably end up going the DPS Azir here and just optimizing for Sonya's so you don't get collapsed on by 20 people. Because you can of course die if they get some good angles, but I think if you're scared of dying, you could go tank on any champion in the game. But either way, Shun here did look for a gank mid, then got short trade onto Cream, but nothing else. But he mainly did it just to make sure that, okay, Knight can contest the Prio, and then he's gonna go into Raptors. It's just a transition gank more than anything. Went into the Raptors. Now, looking into the red buff as well. Playing very aggressive here with the Senna. And doesn't seem like Tian is fully aware. Maybe he is though. No, he is. And Knight here just making sure that Cream cannot rotate right now. And overall, Knight is looking to neutralize as much as possible in this lane. Hui is the aggressor in a sense. Of course, early levels, not gonna be super aggressive from either side. Not gonna say that. But in general, Azir, if he does get to scale in this lane, very happy. Hui, maybe not so happy. It's not a pure late game champion. It's not bad in the late game as per se, but mainly an early / mid game champion. Hui's probably main strength in the game is his lane building potential, so Knight here optimizing or going for Mercs straight away. Just making sure that, okay, he really can't be poked out now. And having some decent dodges. Cream here went for the tier, so not gonna deal too much damage. And I think Knight is just really chilling now in this lane, and he's just gonna play this lane quite slow, just playing for the push, trying to avoid as much poke as possible. But even if he gets hit by some poke, it's gonna be alright. And he now does have shuffle, and instantly you can see Shun and Elk are looking for this, and good flash there from Cream, but it is a flash at the end of the day. Knight, very fast combo, has to be flashed. And the truth is they're just gonna look for this once again in 2 minutes when Knight has the next ult, I would imagine. Ornn is getting bullied though in the bot lane. And let's see here. Has to flash himself now, Knight. That's not great, because what they want to do is in 2 minutes when he has ult again, just EQ forward and flash himself, and that's a dead Cream if he's not covered. Which is so much pressure. Now that he doesn't have the flash, sure, he still has the threat of the Shurima shuffle. I'm not gonna say he doesn't. But the flash is a vital component still, right? Because that means it cannot be dodged no matter what. But now potentially it's not impossible if Cream saves his E, hits a fear, something like this, that it's really hard for Knight to go for anything. And now after that gank, he just took a reset. They're playing Drake right here. This is one big thing you will see difference from in LPL, for example, compared to the LEC. I feel like people in LEC, they're allergic to hitting Drake or Grubs or whatever with their jungler. Here, Knight even walked over there, didn't start pushing his wave, just walked over there and took 3 autos and then walked back. And it saves your jungler so much tempo. It means enemy jungler can't really steal it. All of these things, it removes so much risk, and it gives your jungler so much. It's so much more worth it than just like reading to like hit a few minions a bit earlier, etc. These kind of things. Sometimes it's fine to do. I'm not saying that. Of course, everything is fine to do every now and then. But I think in Europe, people tend to not leash the Drake or objectives enough for junglers in general. Alright, now they do have the shuffle up. Cream is without flash still, and you can see they're really looking for it. And Cream here, it's not like he can't get the prio in the 1v1. We all know he can, let's be honest here. But has to respect it, because if he steps up too far, then it just means that Knight will shuffle him and he will die. So he has to stand far back, and that means Knight can actually cut us a prio. Alright, now just looking into the top side, Grubs are gonna be spawning soon. Just making sure they get this. Meanwhile though, on the bot lane, Jackie Love is getting really strong, getting a lot of plates onto On. I mean, Elk is still level 4, and here On just gets dove. And I don't really like how much they've sacrificed the bot lane to make sure the Senna roams here. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Because I think if Jinx gets too fed, that's still a win condition for enemy. I mean, they really need damage to kill this front line that BLG has, right? They have a lot of front line, so... And one great way to kill that front line is by Jinx being strong. Jinx is too strong. The truth is, Rek'Sai, Warren, Wukong, these champions are not gonna be able to tank her too well. She's gonna need LDR, so she's gonna need free items, but before that, it's completely fine. After that, she deals a lot. But already now, 10 minutes, they've got on the tower. It's kind of a lane swap situation, to be honest. But I'm not convinced this is worth it for them. But either way, the lane is kind of as we expected it to be. A bit resident sleeper from Knight's side. Just looking to get some grass bouts in, avoiding as much poke as possible, otherwise just pushing the wave. And try to get as much TS as possible. And they're actually getting hit by the Hui Q for once. Generally pretty clean movement this game, but starts getting a bit poked out and now has to be a bit careful even. He knows he's not getting dove, but he can't really step up here. One Hui ult and Hui Q, and he's close to being dead, if not dead already. Yeah, and if you don't know why the Hui sees him there, we learned this. In general, you see that Azir soldier is placed here, so with the Azir resetting here, Hui spotting the soldier can see where Azir is standing as well. So now Knight just TPing back. He's gonna eat some poke when he does come back, but it's not too much. He's quite high HP, so the Q doesn't deal too much, and he has Merc Threads, so... And now, once again, on the weak side lane here. Fighting for his life, man, I swear to God. Alright, so in general, he's just waiting for his Leander spike. Once he gets that, it's gonna be quite strong. They might look for another shuffle here onto Cream. See how they decide to do it, or if they decide to do it. Cream, in general, very, very respectful of the shuffle this game. After the first one. Not falling too much for it. Playing on his range, playing with the vision he has. And this is just in general, this is how you generate prio in a lot of Azir lanes. In the 1-1, Azir, not the strongest champion, to be honest. We all know this. It's not a weak champion, as per se. He has a lot of range, he has some decent damage. But he's not that strong. He's not gonna win a lane versus a Hui or an Orianna or a Victor in the 1-1, or a Syndra for that matter. All of these champions stronger in the 1-1, Nico as well. But what he does do better than them is that he provides really good gank setup and they're all immobile. So, Azir versus immobile mages in general is super nice. Because the way you generate prio is not by the fact that you out-trade them in the 1-1 or whatever. It's just by the fact that they have to respect your shuffle, and if they don't, you're gonna shuffle them and they're gonna die. So, by the fact that they have to respect the shuffle, you can generate some prior through that. It doesn't mean it's a winning lane as per se, but it does mean that pretty much every lane in the game for Azir is playable, right? This is the reason why Azir is such a blindable champion, right? Because he does have so much threat at the same time as so much safety. Shunir does manage to find a pick onto Cream. So Nightis is gonna hit the tower, probably gonna get this pretty much for free. I don't, if he goes, I'm not a big fan about the Sonya's buy, but maybe it's alright. Maybe that is what you go actually now, and not Frozen Heart. We did see it from Cream as well, so I guess it's the buy now. But if you're gonna buy Sonya second anyways, then why aren't you just going the DPSs here? I don't know, maybe it's just me, man, but I feel like it's not great. But what do I know, man? So now Cream, similar to what we saw 369 do in the first game we reviewed. He's just recognizing the fact, I don't need to be bot lane right now, I shove this out all the way, I don't have anything else to do. I'll go look for a play. Right? It's like, he doesn't find a play here, it's not easy to find, but if enemy does overextend into his jungle, or if they like try to make a play on top lane or mid lane like here, then he's ready to respond to it. He does not need to be bot lane right now, so he's not bot lane. Instead, he prefers being somewhere where something might actually happen, right? If he's bot lane right now, the only thing that happens is that he's creating another threat on the map where enemy can look on. But bro, what are you typing? God damn it. Skull. Fuck's sake, Buzzy. Alright, but we see some fighting here. And Knight is just gonna TP in the middle of the kit. What the fuck just happened, fam? Wait, I have to rewatch it. I'm like stunned from what Buzzy wrote in the chat, man. Alright. Looks over. Sees enemy engaging. Instantly TPs him and Rek'Sai both. It's gonna be in the middle of the chaos though, so it's just pretty much instantly gonna follow, but gets a two-man shuffle while doing so. Decent flash in there from Bin, but this is gonna be a flash trade, and in general, pretty good here from, or for BLG. We're just going to be getting this mid tower most likely. And even though this Jinx was like really strong after early game, you can see, to be fair to them, Senna pretty much matching her in items. Not counting the support item, of course. Like the Ornn getting pretty strong now. And yeah, in general, it just looks like, right now, a great game for BLG on the map at least. They've gotten a lot of towers, they've gotten 2 Drakes, they've gotten majority of the grubs. And they're just in a great position coming into fights later on. Alright, now, fighting the Drake. I wanted to see the setup they go for here. I would like to see Bin on a flank or setting up some tunnels here. But now, Knight is going to be looking on the top side flank here. And that's how going to be how they play the game. Of course, Azir is a champion that can dash over this wall. Let's see when or if he goes for it. They've cleared out the vision here. He does get spotted out by a foresight though. He's going to walk deep here. Gage here from on. It doesn't seem like they can go for much here. Goes on to Jackie, but I think this might be a bit too deep. No? Looked weird from this point of view. It's crazy. He doesn't look around the team fight. Doesn't look around the team fight, just looks here. And he's like, he doesn't see any of his teammates on his screen. And he just goes for it anyways. I respect it. I mean, it's obviously great communication from them. Good awareness from him. Over the fact that, like, okay, his teammates are winning on the other side and they're gonna join him soon. And here, he does end up dying here. Good play here from Cream, I must say. In general, a decent shuffle, decent angle here. I think On might have gone a bit A bit too soon, I want to say, but I'm not sure. But overall, otherwise, a pretty good team fight here from BLG. I would have liked, as I said, as Renekton, or not Renekton, Rek'Sai looking on a flank. Maybe on this flank, Azir looked on. It doesn't have to be that one. It could be on the other flank. It could just be a flank from the Dragon Pit, going into the Dragon Pit, looking for a tunnel out. Any of these plays would have been really nice to see. But either way here, Knight falling low. Ends up stopwatching the wave passive, but gets ulted and ends up dying. It's a really good play for Cream. Maybe Knight overextending a bit, getting hit by that wave passive to begin with, but yeah. Cream does seem like he's gonna end up dying though. Yep. Now, just going top lane here. Azir, no TP yet, neither should Rek'Sai have, but in general, once again, you don't need to be bot lane. You don't go bot lane. You go overload some point on the map. You create pressure with the pressure you have. You don't just go bot lane, stare at the wave and do nothing. So now, clears the wave. Clears the next wave. You can see here, Bin constantly hovering him. Doesn't need to be bot lane yet. And now, instead of just responding in bot lane, they start Nash. They have decent damage on this with Azir. Not the craziest amount ever, but some decent damage. And it's falling really low, really fast here. So let's see here. Looks like it's gonna be a flip. Elk does end up getting it. And here Knight does find himself in a bit of an awkward position. Would probably want to ult himself here, yep. And just manage to peel himself off. They're looking on 369 here, and that's gonna be it, I think, for that fight. TP instantly here from On. We see this... Or we saw this last game, we looked at when Knight TP on the other side of the map, we see it now from On. Enemy is dead, enemy is off tempo, instantly tempo TP with the Nash just to make sure you get as much value of it. If enemy is off tempo, just TP, make a play, keep pushing. They're not wasting any time, they're trying to make as much happen as possible. Now, enemy is still off tempo, some people dead here. And you can see, Cream steps up, instantly, TP in and dive him. High tempo gameplay here from BLG, just looking to do the most with Nash. And what we can see, we saw it the last game, we saw it, I mean this game was a bit higher tempo, but especially last game, the game was really slow from them. They were really playing around the elk poke, just being very slow, playing around the fact that Bin needs to get strong. But still, when the push comes to shove, and they get Nash, they want to make as much happen with the Nash as possible. They don't waste any time. They can play the game extremely slow, extremely controlled the entire game. As soon as they get Nash, it's instantly time to play high tempo for them. Or if enemies off tempo for that matter. This time it's both. Enemies off tempo, some of them are dead. They have Nash, boom. And overall, very clean game here from BLG so far. And I expect them to almost end on this Nash, to be honest. And even if they don't, Soul is coming up for them. And yeah, they just take a team fight here. Jack Love gets caught in the Ornn ult. Still flash here on Knight. It's gonna look for Jack Love, and that's a great shuffle. Gets two people caught in it. And that's just gonna be the game. Very clean game here. Maybe not the most exciting game. A very clean game nonetheless.